I accidentally washed the bloody bed sheet at home, which was a memorial of my husband and his first true love. He was furious and called me a jealous bitch. In order to educate me, he sent me to a deep-sea fishing boat as a sailor. There were 50 barbaric men on the boat, and the law was meaningless to them, and I was the only weak woman. Their eyes were full of desire. On the boat, there was no morality, no law, only the violence of the jungle. I screamed and prayed to God, but no one responded. I became a tool for their entertainment. My body and mind were destroyed, and I felt like neither a human nor a ghost. A year later, I was taken back by him, scarred and submissive. He was very satisfied. He made me kneel down and swear never to offend his true love again. Only when he saw my bruised body did he hug me and say how much he regretted it. It was too late. I was ruined and tired of this cold world. After a hellish year at sea, I stepped on land again. Skinny, staggering, with empty eyes, I barely looked like a human. Those who have never been on a deep-sea fishing boat cannot imagine the pain. Seasickness, like a roller coaster that keeps spinning. Headache swell, sleeplessness, eating and vomiting and eating again. The sea surface changes rapidly, with 10-foot waves almost every day. In the cabin, we roll and collide like dice, covered in wounds. Food and fresh water are scarce, and doctors and medicines are even less. Sick? You can only wait to die. But the worst thing is loneliness. Endless ocean, no horizon, no direction. Time seems to be frozen. Yesterday, today, tomorrow, all are blurred. No future, no hope. Worse than prison, the monotonous life makes people crazy. 3 months later, I saw a sailor shout "I can't stand it," and then jump into the sea to commit suicide. And the most tragic fate belonged to me, the only woman on the ship. 50 strong men, 50 hungry wolves. From the first day, their eyes were full of desire. On the first night, the captain rushed into my cabin with a grin and tore my clothes. "Your husband sent you to us for entertainment. Don't resist, enjoy it." I struggled desperately, scratched and bit. In return, I was punched, kicked, and beaten savagely. The captain slammed my head against the bulkhead. I fainted, woke up in pain, and fainted again. The nightmare never stopped. The first mate, the chief engineer, the bosun. That night, my door was forced open a full 11 times. Soon, locking the door was meaningless. A year of torture. From resistance to obedience, from humiliation to numbness. I became numb, unable to cry anymore, and my body was covered with scars. Torn, bruised, infected. God showed me one last mercy. I was not pregnant. The captain ordered all men who entered my cabin to use protection. Violators lost their privileges. His strictness was not for my sake, just to keep me functional and avoid pregnancy or infection. The physical scars were terrible, but the mental pain was even more unbearable. The constant violation pushed my psychology to the brink of collapse. Depression, anxiety, and fear entangled me every night. A year later, I limped off the ship. Every step was difficult because of pain. "Miss Foster, wait." The voice of the devil. I trembled. I didn't want to turn around, but I didn't dare to disobey. Stiffly, I faced the captain's wolf-like eyes. "What happened on the ship stays there, otherwise you know the consequences." I understand. I nodded, cringing. He wasn't just hiding what happened to me, that was a small matter to him. Most of the crew were fugitives with criminal records. In addition to fishing, they were smugglers. On land, they ignored the law. At sea, they were monsters. The captain was the worst, cruel, and a murderer. In 1 year, I saw him kill or force to death 5 people. Including Simon. I couldn't bear to think of Simon's face. His name alone brought tears to my eyes. Chloe Bennett was waiting at the dock. Daniel's true love, the woman my husband had spent the first night with. Chloe looked down at me, gloating. "Oh, look at you, Abigail. You've lost a lot of weight after a year. Skinny, but prettier and more feminine. It must be the result of being pampered by dozens of men. They say a man's touch is a woman's best makeup." She smiled evilly. She arranged the ship. The Bennett family was doing legal business on the surface, but actually engaged in illegal activities. From the moment I boarded the ship, she foresaw my fate. I hated her, but I was more afraid of her. "Abigail, this is the price of stealing my man and washing that sheet." She put an exquisite bracelet on my wrist. "I will monitor you 24 hours a day. If I find out that you told Daniel anything, you will go back to that ship. I swear, you will not leave alive this time." Before taking me to see Daniel, Chloe took me to a private clinic. They changed my clothes, bathed me, and treated my wounds. The doctor frowned. I heard her whisper to Chloe, "I was too badly damaged, with serious gynecological problems and reproductive damage. I may never be able to have children." Although I shed tears all my life on the ship, I still shed helpless tears when I learned that I had lost the chance to be a mother. Chloe clapped and laughed. "Good. Infertility is perfect." I feel more relieved. Reassured, Daniel would never touch me no matter what. I am an orphan who grew up on the charity of the Hayes family. When Daniel first came to the orphanage with gifts, I fell in love with him. But I knew my place. My infatuation with him was just an unattainable fantasy. I never dreamed of becoming his woman. After graduating from college, I became his assistant. On Valentine's Day night 3 years ago, Daniel had a quarrel with the bad-tempered Miss Chloe. He got drunk and collapsed to the ground. I took him to the hotel room with great effort. When he fell on the bed, he pulled me into his arms. He turned over and pressed on me. I admit that I was lost at that moment. Greed took over me, and I longed for something that did not belong to me. I did not resist. It hurt, but I was very happy. I thought God had opened the door to a new world for me, but in fact I fell into the abyss. The next morning, he woke up, flew into a rage, and ordered me to leave. He called me a scheming speculator who had defiled him. I ran away crying, but was photographed by lurking reporters. The scandal, the second son of the Hayes family, drunk and promiscuous, exploded. They said he was violent with his secretary and abused his power. At the time, the Hayes family was bidding for a multi-billion-dollar public project. Daniel and his brother Michael Hayes each led a public relations team. This was actually a test for the family heir. Reputation is crucial for such a government-backed project. Daniel seemed to be finished with the scandal. The reporter was arranged by Michael, but Daniel turned the whole situation around. He used the scandal as a bargaining chip. He announced that I was not a one-night stand and did not abuse power. He said he would pursue me and marry me. He revealed that I was an orphan and had been supported by the Hayes family for a long time. Rich boy and Cinderella, pure fairy tale. Daniel became a media darling, praised for his kindness and love for me. Despite our different backgrounds, he was a warm-hearted romantic. The project was his. He surpassed Michael and became the heir. Only I knew that all this was fake. He didn't love me. He was just using me, not only for his saintly image, but also to stimulate Chloe. Chloe was spoiled, capricious, and even rumored to have flirted with Michael. The competition between the brothers was not just business, there was also personal grudge. After I married Daniel, Chloe was angry and sad, became docile, flattered him, and no longer lost her temper. She alienated Michael. They avoided the media and acted like lovers every day. I, as a wife, was ignored and abandoned. Except for that drunken night, Daniel never touched me again. But I still had hope. I believed that if I could do well enough, he would be touched. I would see the day when my loyalty would be rewarded. I managed everything in the house, worked endlessly, but accidentally washed the bloody sheet. He was furious and said that it was a sacred item between him and Chloe. He handed me over to Chloe for punishment, and I was thrown on that ship and into hell. He forgot that my first time was also with him. I should have a precious sheet, but he threw it away long ago. A year later, I saw Daniel again. It felt like a lifetime. He looked at me, smiled and said, "You look haggard and scarred. If I didn't know that you starved yourself and hurt yourself to gain sympathy, I would think you were abused." Chloe cunningly warned him, claiming that I hurt myself to gain sympathy. There was no need. Daniel would not care no matter what the truth was. The pain of that year made me understand. He was unshakable. My self-deception would only lead to my own humiliation. Inevitable self-destruction. "Daniel, I don't love you anymore." I bowed my head and said, "All the pain is my own fault. You've learned your lesson." Daniel was pleased with my attitude. "We have an interview soon, as a couple. Prepare. I'll give you the best stylist." But I want a divorce. Daniel was stunned, then smiled contemptuously. "Abigail, don't play tricks. You can't leave me, you're too attached to me. Playing hard to get doesn't work. The company will be listed soon. After that, if you don't divorce, I will end it myself. I can't keep Chloe waiting too long. A woman's youth is fleeting." I didn't argue. His consent was enough. I had survived a year of hell. A few more days would be nothing to me. A few days later, he hired top stylists to dress me up. They hid my haggardness and scars, but I still looked skinny with a new sexiness. I sneered at the mirror. "Do men really find this attractive?" My smile faded when I saw Daniel in the mirror. He was impeccably dressed and stared at my back with a strange, curious look. The dress was backless. That part happened to be unscathed. My body tensed and my palms sweated. "You look beautiful today." This was the first time he had complimented me since we got married. He gracefully took my arm. "The reporters are waiting for us." "Don't." I flinched suddenly, as if touched by a poisonous snake. A year of torture by men made me afraid of any male contact, especially Daniel. His touch brought fear and nausea, physical and psychological disgust. He was a little embarrassed, but soon returned to his usual indifference. "Ungrateful woman. I was just warning you not to mess up your lines later." The interview began. We answered the host's questions according to the script and pretended to be in love. The camera captures panoramas, close-ups, and close-ups. Everything is perfect until the end. "Today is your 3rd anniversary. We have a cake for you." The staff rolls out a huge cake. "We wish you a long and happy marriage." Our 3rd anniversary? I forgot. Daniel forgot, too. It means nothing to him. This segment is not in the script, meant to be a surprise and romance. Daniel frowns but keeps his composure. "Really? We have a private celebration planned tonight. Let's cut the cake." We cut mechanically. The host frowns, dissatisfied. "Too stiff. Mr. Hayes, put some cream on her face. Have fun." It's childish for Daniel's icy temperament, but for show effect, he dips his hand and reaches for my face with white cream. No. I lose control. Cream, white, sticky, a horrible trigger, reminding me of what happened on the boat. I vomited violently. I barely ate anything after I came back, only vomiting green bile. I fell on the cake and made a mess of myself. It drove me crazy. I was filthy. I hated myself. I screamed in despair and cried helplessly. "Don't touch me. Please, don't touch me." I tore my elegant dress, revealing shocking scars. Fist marks, footprints, whip marks, burns, and bite marks. The reporters and staff were stunned. "Get out. If any footage is leaked, you're done." Daniel's threat made them flee in a hurry. In the living room, there was only my collapse and Daniel's anger. "Abigail, what happened on that ship? Did other men touch you?" "Who? How many?" He gritted his teeth and tried to comfort me and asked, "How many?" "Haha, 50. I laughed wildly. My clothes were torn. I stumbled into the bathroom and scrubbed